Update. My 41 female partner, 44 male, is adamant I am cheating on him. I am not. Help? Original post. Just a bit of context. We've been together for 2 years. He has 2 kids. I have 1 kid. Irrelevant to this story. We live apart. I bought a home a few months before we started dating and are together only when our kids are with their other parent. He's the guy who has treated me the best out of all my relationships, and I love him dearly. I'm a chronically anxious and stressed person, and he's absolutely my peace. But today he sucker punched me with this. He's absolutely convinced I'm cheating on him. The reason he suddenly started thinking this is because 2 days ago, I wanted to show him something on my phone. There was an irrelevant tab open, my Hotmail account, which is full of spam. I've had this account for the past 24 years, but mostly use my Gmail. He saw quickly in passing that there was a folder with a man's name. Let's say James. I don't remember the purpose of this folder. It's empty. I haven't touched it in 15 years, and I have no idea why it exists. It was probably useful at some point, but I don't remember. Well, now he's convinced that 1. I closed the tab too quickly. 2. I was acting weird, nervous, and suspicious. 3. This means I've cheated or I am actively cheating. That's his perspective. Now, on to the actual truth. I am absolutely not cheating on him. He's the man of my dreams, the love of my life, and I have never ever given him a reason to even suspect I'm cheating. I spend an entire week with him at his place, never hide my phone, and don't act secretive. When I'm at my house, it means I'm with my kiddo, and my time is 100% devoted to her. I also work a lot. There is not a single second in my life where I would have time to devote to any other person, even through email. I spend my downtime at home being with my kiddo and the cat, watching YouTube videos. I send him a lot of pictures of me chilling with my cat as well, and we have constant communication. I'm very chatty through text. At first, I was super mad and also confused. Why on earth would he not trust me? What is happening? No matter what I say, he insists that I don't make any sense whatsoever, and he's just adding 1 plus 1, and to him, the answer is 2. I keep telling him that he's the one not making any sense. We've been going back and forth through text. He doesn't even want to speak over the phone or come over to talk about it. I've sent him numerous screenshots of my email, showing unopened emails that go back more than a year. I've sent screenshots of me typing the keyword James in the email and nothing comes up. I've shown him the completely empty sent folder, which to me is weird. I've sent numerous emails over the years. Why is it empty? I've even given him the login and password so he can look for himself. I've accumulated a lot of junk in that email over the many years I've had it, but I rarely use it now. It's just a receptacle for all my Amazon orders, my McDonald's app receipts, and various spam emails. I'm mad that he doesn't trust me. He says he needs time to think. I'm stuck in a loop of angry, confused, and sad. What's going on? Now for the top advice before reading the updates. Is this incredibly out of character for him, or has he always been a bit jealous and suspicious? Could he be the one cheating and projecting? This is wildly out of character. I am unsure if he would be projecting his own cheating. Anything is possible. But I'd hope not. I don't believe so. He's high libido, and we have sex daily. When we're together, which is every other week, except when one of us is sick. I give him everything he needs in that department, and in all the other departments as well. We take good care of each other, typically. Usually when people get paranoid out of nowhere, it's because they are doing what they're paranoid about you doing. Or at the very least, they're being dishonest about something. I'm going by your own words here. You have an empty folder with a man's name on it in one of your email accounts, and you claim you haven't touched it in 15 years and have no idea what this folder means. Plus, you also have an empty sent folder in the same email account, and you have no idea why it's empty. Do you think someone accessed this account and put the James folder in it and emptied your sent folder? Who's not making sense? Can you blame him for being suspicious? I told him I understood where he was coming from and that I am willing to work through this with him. He has full access to everything he ever wants, whenever he wants. I have shown myself to be trustworthy to a fault. When I say haven't touched it, I'm not sure if it's a translation thing. I just mean I have not used it as my primary email in a very long time, and the email is only used as an inbox for receipts and useless crap. Now for the first update. So, it did not end well. After 48 hours of back and forth through text, because he refused to even speak to me over the phone or face-to-face, and me giving him my password so he could check for himself that nothing was suspicious, he still wouldn't back down. At this point, his behavior was concerning, and I thought he might be having a mental episode. It was getting too much. He was texting me at all hours of the night, trying to make sense of something that didn't make sense in the first place. So, I blocked him. When he realized that, he sent me emails at my work email, asking me to check my Hotmail, which had nothing different in it. When I blocked his email, he decided to message my best friend, telling her, if I can't talk to her, I'll go through you instead. My friend has literally nothing to do with this whole thing. She never replied and is sticking with me because she's also seeing how crazy he's acting. So I thought that was that. Yesterday at work, I was visibly sad and distressed, and my whole team hugged me, offered support, and I had lunch with another good friend and colleague. The day goes by and I get off work at 4. I was walking to my car in the parking lot, flanked by 2 colleagues, and I was explaining the whole story to them. They went to one of the girls' cars because they carpool. I walked toward my own car, which was parked 2 rows away. I heard a loud man's voice behind me. I turned around, and it was him. He was walking very quickly toward me and still talking nonsense about emails. I held my hand up and said, I'm not doing this with you right now, all the while calculating whether I was safe to go to my car. He started screaming at me that I was a whore, a slut. I had never seen him like this before. Some instinct pushed me to turn around and go to my colleague's car. At this point, I was shaking and scared. I got into her car and started hyperventilating. They said, we'll drive you home. He was about 6 feet from the car, hate in his eyes, motioning for me to get out of the car. We drove off. I kept apologizing to them, crying, and looking behind us the whole trip to make sure he wasn't following. When I got home, my mother was there. I broke down and called the cops. A nice officer told me over the phone, I got nothing else going on right now. You're my priority, and I'm coming to you as soon as I can. He came to my home, took my statement, was extremely patient and understanding, and explained everything he was going to do. My ex was placed under arrest for criminal harassment with certain conditions to follow. Not sure about the legal terms here, but they did not handcuff him or take him to jail. It was just a verbal warning, and he will probably be summoned to court at a later date. I have a good network of people who care, and I believe I'm safe. Thanks, everyone. The one piece of advice I will offer: people like this often ignore the police because they are no longer living in our reality. Been there. Just because they have mental health issues, which is clearly the case here, it doesn't mean you have to feel even an ounce of sympathy or guilt. Whatever is going on, it has destroyed any chance of them being allowed in your life anymore. You may get guilt or sympathy pangs, but you should grab them by the collar and throw them out on their ass the moment they enter your head. The only way to mentally deal with stalker exes is to literally stop caring about them at all. That way, the only decisions you will make will be around your own safety. Thank you. I needed to hear this. I am angry at him, but sometimes during the day, I have small bouts of thoughts like, did I overreact? Am I being too harsh for having him arrested? And I have huge regrets about it. But then I realize, hey, the actual officer of the law told me he had enough motive to arrest him, so I'm doing the right thing. Please contact your local DV center. They can help you obtain an order of protection and help you safely plan. The order of protection has been issued. Thank you so much for the link. You absolutely did not overreact, I promise you. It's hard to see from inside a relationship sometimes how messed up things are. But try to imagine your best friend is going through what you are right now. What would you tell them? What would you want for them? Use that and apply it to yourself. I would be a rabid guard dog for any of my friends going through that. You're absolutely right. I am so sorry you're experiencing this. It's genuinely terrifying when your partner pivots like this and leaves you feeling unsafe and, dare I say, worried that they will physically harm or attack you. When we go through life, we generally expect to be safe at work, commuting, and at home. So it can be jarring to have someone pop that bubble with their unhinged behavior. I'm very glad you had your coworker there to drive you home and be a witness. I am equally glad that you called the police. But in the interim, do you have anyone you can stay with for a few days? Are you able to invest in some sort of home security system? Whatever is going on with your ex, it's clear that he's not mentally stable and is not afraid to escalate his behavior, even in public and even with witnesses. Please prioritize your well-being if resources allow. Maybe you can speak to the detective who took your statement and see if they'd be willing to have someone do some timed patrols of your area, just for peace of mind. I hope you will be okay. You did a brave thing in getting help and reporting him. I hope you will be supported and surrounded with care as you navigate the days ahead. Thank you for the kind words. They are definitely patrolling my area more. The officer told me that he was extremely calm and cooperative during his arrest. But knowing my ex, that's just a facade, and he's probably absolutely boiling with rage inside. I have some peace of mind knowing he cannot contact me, directly or indirectly, and cannot be at my home or place of employment. This is a small town, so there's a chance I might bump into him at the pharmacy or grocery store. But there's nothing I can do about that, and the officer just told me to ignore him and go to a different aisle or area in the store. It will take a very long time for me to get through this. I'm a slow healer, but time heals all wounds, does it not? Second update. I just had a 2-hour conversation with his ex, let's call her Jess. Not the mother of his kids, but the girl he dated between their mother and me. A very interesting conversation. She has lived through exactly the same situation as me, minus calling the cops. She told me he was ultra-controlling, physically and verbally abusive to his 2 sons, had a bad drug habit, had an unhealthy/borderline inappropriate relationship with the mother of his children, and was psychologically and sexually abusive toward Jess. She said he used to put her on a pedestal, just like he did with me. I ignored a lot of red flags because I loved him so much. I hope he gets the help he needs. Edit. He's following me. Saw him twice today where he shouldn't have been. I documented that at the police station. They're super nice and understanding, thank God. Last story. Update. Boyfriend 28 male slammed on the brakes so hard that I flew into the locked seatbelt in response to me commenting on his driving. How to address? Original post. My boyfriend of 3.5 years and I were driving down a main road toward a red light. He was accelerating into the red light, so I said, "Why are you accelerating? It's red." In response to this comment, he slammed on the brakes so hard that the car screeched, and I was thrown forward. The locked seatbelt caught me. I was not injured by this, but it did scare me. Afterward, when I spoke to him about it, he said I made him really mad with my driving comment, especially since I had told him not to comment on my own driving the day before, and that we should agree not to comment on each other's driving. I don't think that's totally unreasonable, but I also don't think that his act of slamming on the brakes was appropriate. I am concerned that he thinks it was appropriate. How do I address this with him? Now for the top advice before reading the update. Dating is an audition for the rest of your life. You're not locked in here. He proved that his immediate and thoughtless reaction when he's angry with you is to punish you. And who cares if you get hurt? Take this information and use it wisely. And if your car got rear-ended because of his actions, it's your problem, not his. His immediate response to a criticism from you was to physically punish you. He did it deliberately and would do it again. He doesn't see that there's anything wrong with his reaction. Think long and hard about if this is the sort of relationship you want to be in, because you can't change him. He would rather put your life at risk than be wrong. I dated a guy who did stuff like this. If he was angry, he would drive too fast, take curves too tight, slam on the brakes, etc. It was a manual, so it was really easy to jerk around. He did it because he wanted to hurt me and scare me. It became pretty emblematic of how he handled his anger and frustration. He was emotionally immature and never got better. I married and had a child with a guy like this. After 5 years of worsening abuse, I managed to get out, but still had to co-parent with him and watch him slowly get more abusive with our son, until X put his hands around son's neck when he was 16 and the courts finally stopped making him spend time there. OP, please find a better man. Now for the first update. Thanks to everyone for your comments. I don't think I can respond to all at this stage, but I'll try and answer some of the questions here. The car is my car. I own it, but let him drive it. I usually push back on letting him drive it at all when I am with him, because I think he doesn't treat the car as well as I would like. The comments from him on my driving are about me driving too slowly or hesitating. I was in a scary car accident a few years ago, and I've been a very nervous and careful driver since then. I had asked him to stop commenting on my driving because I felt like he was nagging me about it all day. The specific instance where I told him to stop was because I was hesitating at a traffic circle and was giving too much space for people to go through ahead of me. The comment that caused him to hit the brakes was my first comment of the car ride. We had literally just gotten in the car, and it was the first light. Still, we had had some tension and arguments that week, leading up to it about other things, and I think he was already a little annoyed with me when we got in the car. I won't pretend that I have never made him mad and could have tried harder to avoid that, but I felt that his reaction in slamming the brakes was very extreme. I hear what you all are saying. This confirms what I think I already knew about the brake slamming. It's hard to imagine a situation where that can be seen as reasonable or safe. He has never done anything else physical with me aside from this car incident, though he does have an explosive temper. I've seen him get physical with other things. He punched a hole in our wall once over a video game. And he smacks cars when we are out running, and he sees cars not stopping properly at stop signs. I would say he hasn't lost his temper with me much, but when he has, I found it a bit freaky. Because he adopts a really intense, teeth clenched, fists clenched stance. He has slammed his fist on the table a few times. Again, he has never actually done anything physical to me. Also to clarify, he was not slamming on the brakes because of the red light. We were still about 50 feet from the stop line. It was definitely in response to my comment, and he admitted as much afterward when he explained that he slammed on the brakes because he was mad. I will look into the resources everyone sent and think about this. I am feeling like I need to end it, particularly after reading what everyone has said. Thank you. I appreciate all your thoughts and advice. Second update. Thank you to everyone who commented. It was a little rough being told by literally hundreds of people how bad of a situation this was. I think it was the wake-up call I needed though. I was having a really hard time seeing the situation clearly. I knew his behavior was wrong, but I didn't have the language for what I was experiencing and didn't know what to do. Since this post, I filled in some friends and relatives on the situation. Everyone agreed that his behavior was completely unacceptable. Everyone said he either needed some serious therapy and anger management, or we needed to break up. On Friday, I tried to ask him about the anger issues to see if he might be willing to seek help for it. He was extremely dismissive of it all, told me I was blowing things out of proportion, and even laughed at me when I suggested his aggression was a little scary. That was the last straw for me. Last night I told him I thought we should break up. What followed was an agonizing and painful 2 hours of crying and holding each other. He pleaded with me to stay, promised that he would be better for me, and asked to do therapy. Basically everything I had been wanting to hear from him for months, if not years. I couldn't trust it though. I ended up taking my dog and going to a hotel, where I'll be for a few days while we figure out the logistics of breaking up. It has been so incredibly hard, but I feel like I made the right decision. Several people expressed concern for me in my original post, so I wanted to update you all and let you know that I am okay and that I left. I'm not able to completely go no contact currently because of our shared living situation and dog, but I am taking steps to break away. Thank you again to everyone for the feedback and affirmation. I hope you've got your important documents with you. Everything else may need to be written off as a loss. At the very least, see if you can get your friends to accompany you to collect the rest of your stuff, or even handle the handoff for you. Or consider calling the non-emergency police hotline to see if someone can come with you. Glad you're out though. Now stay that way. Thank you. I did grab my documents. I do hope things will be okay when I go back, but better to be safe for sure.